But can Schalke bring it back after a disappointing loss yesterday? Let's find out as we head down to our casters for our first game of the day.
That's the question, Draco. Hello, everybody. I'm Quickshot. He's Deficio. We're about to jump into the first game in our battle for the buy. Now, Vitality had side selection. They elected to take red side in this game. And Deficio, when we were backstage getting ready and I'm watching the guys on stage, there's an energy and excitement in the Vitality camp.
Oh, yeah.
Carrying through from yesterday's very confident win. And it's serious deadpan. A lot on the line for Schalke on the other side of the stage.
It is important to highlight that Vitality is the only team that didn't lose yesterday of the guys playing here today. Because Vitality beat G2 Esports and Schalke lost to H2K. Big surprise. Now, the red side selection. Very interesting, because what H2K did yesterday on blue side was they just banned Comfort against Schalke. They removed Poppy, Braum, Sejuani. 3 of the picks that Schalke have won almost every single game on so far. Vitality not doing exactly the same by picking red side, where you still typically ban their traditional OPs like Aatrox, Akali. So I want to see how much value do they get out of counter picks, because that is the reason for them to grab this red side when it's not banning Comfort.
Okay, so counter picks and whether or not they can use them. This Kindred into yesterday's Trundle was how Vitality unlocked a convincing win against G2 Esports. The last ban from Vitality, the Sejuani, I think getting amazing off that pick, with which he's 7-0 the split, is a very smart move. And Schalke lock in the Braum as their first rotation.
Trundle is available now for Kikis, which has been one of his best, if not the best champion he's played during this massive, resurgence of Vitality and then becoming one of the best teams in Europe. He's currently 3-0 with it. Does he want to grab it early? Will Schalke expect that and just have something ready against it? Well, there is the Trundle. They also normally love to get Gragas, which is why I almost had Gragas before. And it's because they can flex it around so much, but with the early Trundle pick, they don't need to grab it. And Varus coming in from Attila, a man who plays everything.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And I'm taking a look down his Summer Split Champions. This will be his first Varus of Summer. So Kikis will be playing that Trundle. He is currently 3-0, undefeated on the Troll. Gragas will be taken away, so that's a denial to Cabochard. Comfort for Chachi as well. Could go to Amazing in the jungle.
Yeah.
And of course, Upset playing that very safe bottom lane, Ezreal Braum.
So again, with Schalke, whenever things like Ezreal, Braum are available, as we've mentioned so many times already, they will pick them. It is just the go-to choices. Poppy is still available with the Gragas potentially going top. We have to see if Vitality still want to ban it. I really think you should take it away from Chachi because he's just so standout on it. Ryze coming in, and again, mid lane is what we expect. More and more teams have been showing the Ryze top lane.
Yeah.
We've seen it also, of course, in other regions. So it is not a guaranteed mid lane pick, but it is a Jiizuké special.
Absolutely the case. One of the champions that Jiizuké made a splash on in his debut to the EU LCS, where he started to garner that reputation as the Italian stallion. And while his summer hasn't been quite as popping off as his spring, Jiizuké has definitely found a level of stable performance. And he's working well with the rest of the squad. Let's take a look at this. Alistar and Yasuo phase 2 bans.
No big surprise yet, the Poppy.
Does it get banned?
No, they take away his Rumble instead.
That happened yesterday as well, if I recall correctly. Phase 2
Chachi
Rumble
did look very good on Rumble, but his key pick is available. If they want to put the Gragas in the jungle and then take Poppy top, it is an option for
Are they
Schalke.
lacking on damage if they go the Gragas Poppy and then Nukeduck has to play something big? I
think that's okay. You have double damage dealer, and it's not like Poppy and Gragas don't actually deal at least decent damage on their side. So I don't think there would be lacking. It would just be a lot of scaling, which could be a problem for Schalke, because we know Team Vitality also with this bot lane now, Varus and Thresh, they are looking for action. They want to be aggressive in your face. So Schalke needs to be careful they don't pack too much scaling.
First time Thresh for Jactroll in that bottom lane. And of course, first time Varus. Yesterday we talked about how Team Vitality, they were able to surprise some of their opponents. Attila playing the Draven on Friday. That's a Vel'Koz locked into the middle lane for Nukeduck. So we'll touch on the team comps in a minute, but Vitality, they're going with a different flavor. And Schalke, not Vel'Koz. What does this comp tell you?
I mean, this is just insane long-range team fights on their side. Ezreal plus Vel'Koz. It's so hard to reach them unless you have hard engage. What's on the side of Vitality right now in terms of engage? We're looking at things like Varus ult and Thresh hook. Not 100% reliable to reach the backline. Ryze then obviously being potential follow-up engage. And I think that's why this Jarvan gets locked in, because that is a guaranteed source of trying to get to the backline. They were missing that when we look at the range and the ability to just poke and kite on the side of Schalke. So the Jarvan comes in specifically as an answer, because they have great follow-up. I just highlight the Varus and the Thresh.
Yep.
of course, with the Ryze, the Pillar, none of these are main engage tools. They're all great follow-ups. So Cabochard is one of the players we're really looking at in this game because his engages need to be on point. Otherwise, this Vel'Koz will melt them.
And of course, yesterday, Vitality shut down a top lane Jarvan. It was YamatoCannon playing that champion. They really put him behind. And that was one of the ways that Vitality could run away with the game. Let's see whether or not they can get Jarvan into a good position or whether or not it'll be one of the other lanes, because this Varus Thresh is also very, very powerful and very scary, especially if Jactroll can get unlocked, roam around, land some death sentences, other places on the map. So early laning phase, where do you think the priorities are going to lie?
I actually think for Kikis, it's like almost heaven. He can look at all 3 lanes where there is CC set up for him.
He's going to be able to counter jungle?
He definitely will try and look for it. I think with the Trundle pick here, like, we know Kikis is going to be super proactive. This is a draft that really fits Vitality's playstyle of having very strong lanes that works well with a jungler.
Yeah.
So I think for Kikis, there's a lot of options, but when you draft Thresh, so often you want to see something happen around that bottom side because he's not a scaling support per se. Where Braum in a late game teamfight, you'll always take him.
Hold that thought really quickly. Medic standing by with Yamato.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I am here with Yamato. Now, Yamato, we saw the Vel'Koz pick come out really late there from Schalke. How does your draft change when you see an oddball pick like that?
I think, like for me, I didn't care too much. Like we saw Vel'Koz in the past, it wasn't much of a surprise. He picked it into similar matchups, so we were prepared for it, and we adapted carefully.
Okay, that's really interesting. You also decided to pick red side. Why was that?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Have to keep some secrets. Guys, back to you.
You know what? Credit for the attempt, Medic. Credit for the attempt. Not only was the Vel'Koz a little bit surprising, but this Thresh Varus is a pivot as well.
Yeah, and if you look at the red side choice, okay, how many picks did Vitality get? There could be potential counter picks in this case here. They got to last pick for Cabochard. Not that I think necessarily that's going to be the hard-winning lane, but it did manage to adapt a bit to the long range of Schalke and guarantee some sort of engage with the Jarvan specifically. Obviously, Jiizuké did grab the Ryze himself in the first rotation, while it could have been flexed around. It wasn't 100% given it's going to be a mid lane. They didn't really hide a lot on the side of Vitality, but they got the Varus pick in the bot lane. And I think that's important because we know Schalke do not play around their bottom side. And Varus is such a strong laner now who very often gets to actually take down your turret if you don't do anything against him. And with the Thresh next to him, it is playmaking for one of the most aggressive bot lanes against actually one of the most passive bot lanes we have.
Well, let's see whether or not Vitality can just straight up win the 2v2. Whether they can apply enough pressure to make that happen. One of the things that we have noted is that blue side, league-wide in the EU LCS, has a very high win rate. It's around 67%. If you follow at LOL Esports stats, you'll actually be able to read some of the tweets they sent earlier today. Schalke 04 on 9-0 when playing on the blue side. And Vitality opted into red. This was a choice they made. Yamato wouldn't explicitly say why for obvious reasons. And we'll be playing against G2 after this as well.
I will say I think the first pick Braum makes sense for Schalke, but I don't think it takes anything away from Vitality. So I don't think they lost a whole lot in terms of first picking right there. Obviously, they wanted to ban away things like Aatrox on the red side, but it's going to be interesting to see with the draft here. One thing we have to notice, level 1, Schalke's dual lane was leashing for Amazing on the bottom side. Meanwhile, Attila and Jactroll started in lane. Instantly got the push, guarantees the first level 2, puts Schalke already a bit behind.
Yeah, and look at the minimap. You can see Attila and Jactroll pushing in front of that minion wave, really putting pressure on. Look at Jactroll trying to zone away VandeR and upset. Takes a little bit of swing and a miss with that death sentence. Doesn't find a target yet.
Is that Kikis invading?
This is the Kikis special. He is the most prolific counter jungler out of all junglers in the EU LCS. And yes, he's bullied Amazing out of his own side of the map. Jiizuké's come up to support, but Amazing got the blue buff. He secured the final hit.
Kikis stays in there. Notice the minimap top lane. Chachi can move and actually show up before Cabochard. He's on his way now. This is very risky suddenly from Kikis. He needs to get out.
All right, Kikis starts to make his
he's
way.
moving. Good, good, good.
Instantly moving towards Jiizuké, going to the place where he has some backup and support. Nukeduck is doing his best to maintain this lane, but it is pushing towards him.
And it was planned, obviously, with the Rift Scuttler being killed first here on the top side, so they had a bit of vision if if Vizicsacsi decided to move down. But this jungle matchup in itself, like, you can already see the stats here. K+A at 15 for Kikis is the highest in the league, against actually the lowest on the side of Amazing, because Amazing's job is not to snowball early game.
Right.
But Kikis' job is to always get ahead, because Vitality as a team relies so much on early leads.
And that's part of the reason he's won 6 out of the 8 games he's played player of the game for the team. You know, Kikis really does lead from the front and has brought a renewed fire to this Vitality squad, and he's trying to look for opportunities. He's invading onto the Krugs now.
We saw Vitality already this week play a lot around bottom side when they had to push. Kikis would show up with the Ola, if you remember. He was there level 3, 4, and 5, trying to set up potential tower dives. He's once again looking for it. He's just going to steal away a camp. It is risky, obviously, to go in this early. But they are winning the bottom side. He's guaranteeing more push because he's down here in case something happens. Upset will be able to TP back on this side, but it's an early TP being used.
All right, looking at the mini-map, Amazing's making his way in towards Kikis, but there is some support from Vitality if it was needed. Kikis should be able to escape here. Does have flash available to him if it's necessary, and he's going to actually flash over the pit. Play that one very safe, hold onto his life, but at the cost of his summer spell.
Yeah, but a mistake from Vitality.
Yeah.
The bot lane had basically started recalling when Kikis was still in the enemy jungle. They didn't actually escort him out because Thresh has a lantern. Could literally just walk up the river and just lantern him over the wall. But I think they were not expecting Kikis to actually be in any sort of trouble. So that is a flash gone, which should slow down his aggressive play a bit. And it seemed like a very simple thing to fix. Lantern the wall, you're fine. But there a little bit of miscommunication on their side.
That's the mechanics of how to get him out. But the thing is a little more complex, is making sure that everyone's on the same page, that Jactroll has moved early enough, is in position for the lantern. So a little bit of lacking communication, I think, maybe, or lacking planning. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Regardless of that fact, Vitality have got them CS leads in the top and the mid lane, which is a good start for them and somewhat expected in terms of this laning matchup.
But we have to follow Trevor if this slows down the way Kikis wants to play.
Okay.
Because the next time he invades, he's not using flash out. He might actually get caught and die. Once Nukeduck hits level 6, the burst of Vel'Koz is already very, very strong. So if a no-flash Trundle with no ability to get out of a Vel'Koz ult tries to do something, he might actually just get burned down and die. And it's going to hurt Vitality quite a bit because they need Kikis to be aggressive.
And of course, the stakes of this game. Schalke, Vitality, and G2 will each play 2 games today. If a team goes 2-0, they will take themselves that second seed. They will get the bye, berth into the semi-finals. And looking at form from yesterday, Vitality absolutely want to carry through that confidence and carry through that play. Deficio, here's this next invade from Kikis. The blue buff will be coming up relatively soon, but there was some support from Cabo. He's come in, he's popped that Scryer's Bloom, and he's backed away.
So the bot lane of Vitality should know the jungler is not nearby, but Amazing is.
All right, Upset goes all the way forward. There's the body slam flash. Jactroll is very, very low, below 100 HP. Death sentence by some time. He's still not dead. There's no... What was that? Upset curves the Mystic Shot to take down Jactroll.
I thought he was out, but then Attila could not block the Q, and they actually secured a kill in the end. They just swap sides right there. Kikis invades, but Amazing says, fine, I'm going bot side. I'm going to gank. I'm going to get something here. Top lane.
Jiizuké is trying to cut off the escape route here. Here comes Kikis. Vizicsacsi hops over the Pillar of Ice and decides to turn back around. Rune Prison will lock him down. Narbot not going to be enough. Vitality with a reply.
So very quick here. Split up the map. Vitality top side, bot side for Schalke. And both teams actually secure a kill with the ganks. Let's see the play once again. Jactroll is in the correct position at first, but then he actually steps back down to Attila. He was in a good spot to just lantern him out instantly if anything would have happened, but the moment he steps forward, doesn't think that Amazing is showing up. And that Q.
I really did not think that Mystic Shot was going to come out.
I don't think Attila thought so either.
Unbelievable.
Otherwise, he would have just stepped to the side and blocked it.
Had flash available as well to potentially hop in front of it, but nevertheless, Jactroll goes down for first blood. It's secured by Upset, which allows him to pick up that Sheen. He's been sitting on the tier for a moment or two, and that is a very good start for Schalke because they have this reliable, this safe bottom lane. And there's an early advantage for Upset.
Yeah, and again, the Braum versus Thresh, you know, like, I take Braum in the late game every single time. For Jactroll, it is not just... It's not a lane bully pick for him, but it's more a champion where you want to be able to move around the map and actually create picks with Thresh. Like, that's kind of really what he can bring to the table. In the late game, a lot of what you do is your lantern bot.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, my Jarvan goes in, I'm going to lantern him out. And then you fish for hooks.
And VandeR's Braum, by the way, 6-0. He's got 4 deaths to his name, 5 kills and 41 assists. He is extremely proficient on that champion, and the team knows how to play around it very well. That's why Schalke ended the regular season 12-6 and how they find themselves in the battle for the bye.
Good thing, though, for Vitality is Jiizuké got the kill on the other side, and he's one of those players we don't talk so much about anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens around mid lane before we go any further.
2 versus 2. Teleports are available if needed. That's going to be a start. I think it's VandeR. that's going to be channeling it. He has in fact cancelled the TP and instantly swapped it back to a flash.
But the thing we just saw here, and the thing I like about Jiizuké now, is once Kikis joined the team, I think he got a lot better. Because his playstyle was less now about him getting ahead, and more about him actually having push so he could leave and join Kikis in the enemy jungle or in the enemy side lane for the kind of dive we just saw top lane. And it's really benefited him that he's now more of this, you know, roaming mid lane as more his focus than specifically trying to just win lane.
Got it. Now the question is whether or not it's going to be enough to help the team as we enter the 10-minute mark, moving towards this mid-game. Jiizuké and Kikis, they were moving towards that dragon, managed to pick up the Rift Scuttler down bottom. But Deficio, the one thing we've not seen too much of is the interactions between Chachi and Cabo. They're even on CS for now. Chachi obviously got tower dove a couple minutes ago by a well-coordinated gank, but the wave just seems to be pressing back and forth. Teleports will come up soon, but we may not get a chance to talk about it because Jactroll is the recipient of this Glacial Fissure. Upset looks like he's going to run him down, and that is just too easy for the second kill for Schalke.
So the first gank from Amazing not only got them a kill, but also forced that flash from Jactroll, and Thresh is a very squishy support early. He started coin as well. He's not a tank by any means, and the moment Braum hits anything, all in from Schalke. Great play from this bot lane, and important in the AD carry rivalry as well, even though it's actually the two supports currently fighting against each other.
Deficio, if Vitality don't win early, can they win late? That's a question I want you to answer in a moment or two. Cabochard has come down, manages to put the Cataclysm onto Nukeduck. Pillar of Ice blocks off his escape. There is a cleanse available, and the stopwatch. He pops the item. The barrel
Still
splits
alive!
up Vitality, but the life form disintegration ray finds no kill, and Vitality secure their second.
Good answer again. Something happens, bot lane, instantly Vitality, either mid or top, will do something. They got flash, they got stopwatch from Nukeduck. Big play around that mid lane, and Cabochard walks away with the kill. Very even early game, but that benefits Schalke overall because they're the ones who still want to scale, who wants to use the range advantage of the Vel'Koz and Ezreal later on in the game. Luckily for Vitality though, despite not winning bot side, they're getting kills elsewhere. This is just a party in the mid lane. Cabochard goes in, tries to force the early flash from Nukeduck, doesn't get the knock-up, but will get it with the ult. And now because they have Pillar, they have everything available to keep Nukeduck in place, he can't get out. It's close at first. Flag down, you die.
Yeah, exactly. Drops that standard on his head. And Vitality, even though they are, you know, receiving a bop every now and again, they are sending one back. Vitality have a minor gold advantage. They have a dragon advantage. They're sitting all right, and let's see whether or not Kikis can make anything happen. Gnar is available for Chachi very, very shortly. He's got flash available as well. And I like the fact that Kikis decides to back away. The Gnar comes backwards. There is a teleport coming down. I think it's for upset. Cabochard uses the flag and drag, holding onto his flash for now. No Cataclysm available to him, but all of Schalke are arriving. Flash has been used. Body slam into Bop from Amazing. Sets up a kill for Nukeduck, and Schalke, they get their third.
Quick reaction right there from Vizicsacsi when he sees the first gank. They're ready with the bot lane showing up, or at least the AD carry, plus Nukeduck. They're gonna lose bot turret here. Ezreal is on the way to try and kill some of the caster minions, but this turret here should drop.
Who gets the first tower blood bonus? It's going to be very, very close. 3 members in the top team.
Enough,
it looks like Schalke
gets it.
Schalke get it by a few seconds, and that will give them a even gold game.
And now they're pinging for the Rift Herald as well because they have 5 members on top side. Chachi will recall and grab the bot lane wave, but now they're starting another objective. So Schalke, great first play here. First move actually after seeing what was not really a proper gank setup. No. They didn't want to fully commit on the side of Vitality, but then Chachi, because he can ult them backwards, bought enough time for his team to show up, and quick reaction with the TP and Nukeduck's roam.
All right, there's no flash available for Kikis. Oh, very good barrel there from Amazing. Secures the Rift Herald. I don't know if he can pick it up, though. There's a Glacial Fissure to go down. A fight breaks out. Amazing is dropped. I can't see if the Herald was picked up. It was indeed. Jiizuké runs for his life, and the call is back away. All right, Amazing concedes his life, but does pick up the Rift Herald. So as long as that gets a tower, I think it's a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, definitely worth it right now, also because Vitality do not have any waves currently pushing, so they can't just instantly grab a turret after killing Amazing, and that means Schalke should be able to secure an objective in a couple of minutes when they actually use it. I like the early plays. It's a fast game with a lot of quick moves, and it's not suddenly big team fights. It's just always trying to create a numbers advantage in a side lane to try and secure a kill hits. After they start the Rift Herald, Vitality not there in time, just a second or two late. Kikis had Smite ready. Jactroll will get out decide not to chase. I think probably because they knew Vel'Koz would be in here somewhere, and do you really want to port into him where he knows exactly where you're appearing? Probably not.
Absolutely not. You do not want to jump onto those Void Rifts. Deals so much damage you can predict exactly where that Realm Warp's going to go. Nevertheless, Deficio, we've got an even mid-game. Literally everything has been traded back and forth with the exception of that Dragon. The next one will be an Ocean, so potential to even up there. The question for me now is, how good are Vitality at playing an even mid-game against a team that has shown a level of consistency in the second half of the split that we haven't seen from Schalke all year long?
Exactly. I think right now, if you are Vitality, it's not panic time yet, but you're not feeling too great about the early game so far. There's been some of the moves that actually backfired for you, and the bot lane especially. Jactroll going down twice now. I feel like the first gank was very predictable.
Yeah.
Like, there was full vision from Schalke, your jungle was topside. You got punished by actually stepping forward in lane, and that did set them behind a bit.
And the second death in the 2v2, stepping just too far forward, maybe not respecting the, Braum CC potential.
It's true, but still wide open.
Yep.
I'm just happy our very first game here
It's
during
so
these
close.
tiebreakers
Yes.
is so close, because it sets up how competitive today will be. And
I
the winner
was-
of it, second place, man.
I was nervous that Schalke were going to be on tilt. After losing to H2K yesterday and being smashed, after seeing how well Vitality obliterated G2 Esports, there was some nervousness on my part around the mentality of these players coming in. And it seems like we've got a very exciting start.
We might get a five-man team fight here.
Battle for the buy. All right, Amazing has got access to that explosive cask of his. You see him step forward, threaten the barrel, decides against it, and the Rift Herald was used flawlessly, unlocks that mid lane tower, and Schalke will back away.
And this is something we need to look for during the game. Like, how does Vitality find engages? We already talked about the Jarvan being the go-to choice.
Yeah.
One of the problems for Jarvan typically is he's not that tanky in the first 20-25 minutes, so when he EQs in, most of the time he dies. Or he gets a lantern out and then he's done his job by just unleashing the first combo. And it's all about all the follow-up engage. But can they do that when Schalke can see them? Because they have a lot of disengage tools. Braum ulti, Gragas ult are perfect against things like Jarvan to try and stop him from actually reaching the backline. And I need to see if Vitality can find flanks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think Schalke will always know when the engage is happening and how to stop it.
And I think it's very important to know that there's no time to hesitate, because if Vitality have an opportunity presented and they don't pull the trigger instantly, then Vel'Koz and Ezreal are just going to keep chipping away with their long range that you've talked about. Vitality do have their finger on the pulse of the Dragons, though. Second of the game, it's a second Ocean Drake. So if this continues to play out, they've got a lot of regen to play with during this phase, but they're not the best late-game Dragons to help push you over the edge when it comes to those objectives.
Very true. Do work pretty well against poke. Obviously, if you get hit by a few things and then you get to step out, you don't necessarily have to recall instantly, so you can actually stay on the map, which is an advantage if you are Vitality. As long as they don't get poked into an instant fight. Obviously, then it won't do a whole lot for them, but Schalke in control. That's kind of the feeling you have right now. They've taken the mid lane turret. They're gonna now secure bot lane 1 as well. Chachi, despite dying the one-time top lane, has not really been in trouble in his lane against the Jarvan, and we know Schalke's comp is scaling extremely well. I think they're very happy with the current state of the game.
All right, so how does Schalke then accelerate this further? They're on the verge of taking their third tower. There's no dragon to play around. Baron's a few minutes away and probably too risky, especially for kind of comp that they have. So where do you look for Schalke to unlock further leads?
Well, I think once they secure the last outer turret, the goal is not necessarily to rush for a tier 2 one. They can actually play the game pretty slow then. Try and see if you can just pick one side to play around, ideally the one with Vizicsacsi is, because he's going to be your split pusher, and see if you can get a bit of deep vision to spot any potential ganks. But the thing they just have to do in the mid game is respect how Jiizuké can move on Ryze.
Got it.
Because you don't want suddenly a numbers advantage for Vitality and then Chachi gets caught on the side, because that's how Vitality get right back into the game here. As long as Schalke are actually playing it very safe, they can just keep scaling. They don't have to overforce anything.
Well, we'll see what Vitality can piece together. Jiizuké's pushing up in the top tower, will do a lot of damage to this tower. He's got his Seraph's Embrace already upgraded. Looking at some of the other items, Mirror Mana for upset, as well as that Iceborne Gauntlet.
80k difference is huge.
Going for a Blade of the Ruin King next, that very old school blue build, whereas Attila on the other side, only Blade of the Ruin King and Zeal. I'm looking at the gold difference, 1,300 gold difference between Upset and Attila, obviously 201 and an additional tower to his name.
And if you're Vitality, one of the things you're looking for is when Cabochard gets to push his lane, he will move mid. And that's where you bring your main engage towards Schalke. If he comes in from the side after pushing out his side lane, and he gets the first engage into the follow-up CC from Varus, Thresh, Ryze, all these different champions, you can force a quick fight in mid, secure a kill, and maybe take a turret. That's huge for Vitality, which is why whenever Jarvan gets the push, Schalke will be communicating. He's leaving now. Careful. This is the way for him to force a fight. Step back in mid lane. We just saw that here with Nukeduck, so Cabochard didn't get anything.
Oh, Attila. He's going to walk into the Boomerang Blade. That's a very good lantern. Jactroll in the right place at the right time. Amazing. Gets the cask off. It pins Attila against the wall. Jactroll's sitting on flash if he needs it. True Shot Barrage comes out, and no summoner spells blown on either side. Schalke remain in the mid lane. Look at Cabo and Jiizuké. They're top and bottom respectively, but they're starting to move.
Yeah, Schalke grouping here is very good for them. That's how they want to fight this game. Cabochard on the flank, though. Can he get the engage?
All right, Cabochard decides to hold on to that EQ for now. The tower is the focus.
It's because Jiizuké is pushing bot lane. They're looking to trade turrets here. Kikis is very low.
All right, Kikis is getting dropped. Teleport still not channeled by Jiizuké. Vitality will concede this tower. There's 30% of the HP taken down the bottom lane, but this Ryze takes a long, long time to kill towers. Yes, he's got Ceres, but he only just upgraded his Rod of Ages, so it's going to take a long time. I think he'll have enough with the cannon wave to take down that tower.
So they do manage to trade here. They did not decide to go for the fight and use Jiizuké's TP to join. Mid lane turret dropping is obviously the one you always prefer. But just the fact that it's solo goal for Jiizuké, he's on 2 kills with the Ryze here. He's very, very strong in the game. I think Vitality are okay taking this one instead of risking the big 5-on-5.
We talked about how much more gold Upset has over Attila. Well, if we look at Jiizuké, 8,800 gold to the 7,000 of Nukeduck. So he's the one with the kills. He's got that solo farm. He's got a 2-level advantage as well over Nukeduck. So all eyes on Jiizuké to help unlock this mid-game. And Vitality, they're pushing deep into Schalke territory and peeling back towards Baron.
Ooh, Nukeduck might get hooked. Oh,
not just yet. That Plasma Fission didn't find a target, but somehow Kikis gets caught out. He's just dunked as Upset is on a killing spree. That's his 3rd of the game. And all of a sudden, Schalke, they're fancying their chances.
And we see it again. Miscommunication between Kikis and the team. Everyone is walking out, but Kikis then takes the path around the blue buff instead. All alone, so he just gets caught and he dies. Jiizuké is still pushing, and he's not gonna get the turret in time, but he got a lot of damage on it.
All right, Kikis trades his life for 55, 60% tower HP in the bottom lane. If Vitality can get back to that soon-ish, they may be able to take it down, but will it be at another cost? Dragon's coming up in a minute. Baron is live. We're at 21 minutes in the game state, and it is still extremely even. We know the headroom and the scaling is a little bit Schalke favored, but there are ways that Vitality can use their comp to play around this game. And look at this. Chachi just gets chunked down. He takes so much damage because he has no tankiness yet, just that Negatron cloak.
Yeah, I really think the pick potential is always in favor of Vitality. But look at this play here. Once again for Kikis, when he goes deep, it's fine as long as Lantern is nearby. But Jactroll is really far away. And then Kikis takes a long path around because he sees Amazing and VandeR not actually trusting that his team can help him out. And then they simply stayed in there for a little bit too long and they lose their jungler.
Yeah, in the back half of the fight, Chachi had actually teleported into the river, was looking for an opportunity on Vitality, which he didn't find. Death Sentence catches onto VandeR. Glacial Fish has been used.
And the fact that you just highlighted Chachi TP from before here is so key, because now the split push advantage is huge for Vitality. Not only do they have the stronger 1v1 champion Ryze, they also have the global advantage, so they're the ones getting control over Baron. They can actually start it, and Chachi will have to run from bot lane to join a potential fight. There's a good moment now for Vitality, despite losing Kikis before, just because of the summoner spell being used. And we keep seeing it, and I keep highlighting, like, the actual pick comp from Vitality is strong. Like, there's so much single target lockdown with hooks and Varus ults and Ryze and whatever. When Schalke is split, they're in danger. They can die. When Schalke is together, they have the advantage due to that long-range poke from Vel'Koz and Ezreal.
Yeah, the synergy between them works very well. And of course, Ezreal 301, he's just finished that Blade of the Ruined King. If you compare item differences, 3 completed items for Upset. Attila's only just completed his Hurricane, so definitely behind the curve. If he gets enough time to hammer away on Schalke, that will do a lot, but he needs a lot of protection from the rest of Vitality.
Just want to see what Vitality will do with the TP advantage. They keep Jiizuké bot lane, but they need to see the rest of Schalke on the map before he can push for that inhib turret. And if he can't do that, the chance of starting Baron is there, just to force the team fight.
And of course, Vitality need to be on the same page. They cannot afford the same communication mistakes that we've seen. You know, earlier when Kikis was forced to flash, earlier when Kikis gave up that death, there's those little glimpses into the planning and communication that's costing Vitality.
Luckily, they can actually take some risky starts at Baron, take a bit of damage, because they got triple ocean on this side. Like, they have so many ways of staying on this map despite getting poked down, so they can keep kind of fishing at the Baron and see, does Schalke react? Are they moving in four members? Varus ult, we turn, we fight. Do they not move? You can finish the Baron then with just 2 or 3 members. You don't need all 5. So I really want to see them use the advantage of TP, but the problem is it's still fairly early. Like, it's only 23 minutes. It feels like it's been longer, but the Baron still does deal some pretty serious damage. The opening is just, it's there for them right now without Chachi being able to move.
And I'm really appreciating just the level of play that these two teams are bringing in. It is clean. They are trading blows back and forth, of course. But Vitality, they are the ones that had the momentum from yesterday. They're looking to keep that up. They've taken their 4th tower of the game. That's the mid-outer that has now fallen. So unlock a little bit more pressure for Vitality to play with. The question is, will they be able to find that pick? Or will they be able to communicate effectively enough to let the split-pushing Jiizuké get ahead? He's only got 6 stacks on that rower, but he's sitting on 3,500 gold, Deficio. 3,500 unspent gold, so it's a little bit misleading when you look at the gold totals to consider he hasn't spent that. He's just backing now for the first time he's done so in a significant amount of time.
It is very true. There's still a minute on the Chachi TP if they are doing something now, but I think because it was so early in the game, Vitality did not want to overforce it around Baron specifically. If the TP thing happens later, they're definitely going to do it. So Schalke gets away this time after effectively wasting their original TP from Chachi. It didn't really result in anything other than the 1 kill onto Kikis. We'll actually find Kikis right now, or he will find Schalke.
All right, not going to throw more than a pillar of ice Schalke's way. Instead, trying to pick up his Krugs, but look at Schalke committing to this Baron vision. A reminder, it's a battle for the bye. Win 2 games, you take that 2nd seed. Nukeduck throws out a fission, and it won't slow anyone down.
And before, Trevor, you just mentioned how much gold Jiizuké had. He went back and bought a death cap.
Just straight up.
Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm now way stronger.
He's put a fancy hat on, and let's see whether or not it's going to help out. All right, Cabo takes a Q to the face, but look at this damage onto Chachi. Still, no real MR to speak of. He does not want to go toe-to-toe with Jiizuké's Ryze.
And it's Spring Split Vitality at the moment with Jiizuké on that Ryze, just in the side lane. Nukeduck was forced to flash because Cabochard got onto him with the ulti. Another win here for Vitality, and they're the ones with all the pressure on the map. I'm just waiting for one opening where Nukeduck shows his face, and you might get the all-in from Vitality to kill him.
And of course, if Vitality misstep trying to force that error, the reply engage from Schalke is how they once again regain control. Deficio, it feels to me like Vitality are now dictating the tempo, that they're in charge of the game. Schalke did very well early, but the last 5 or 6 minutes has been about Jiizuké in that side lane.
Yeah, it's insane how much one teleport can suddenly change the pace of the game and how hard it was for Schalke to play. This is what we talk about with the pick comp from Vitality, especially around Baron itself, where you can use the large river to deny vision and then try and find openings like the one we saw here, will happen again and again. Amazing is bot lane right now, just checking what's going on with Vizicsacsi, and I like the gold graph.
It is, but you have to look at the scale though. Plus 600 gold for Schalke, plus 1,300 gold for Vitality. That is as even as you are going to get in a 26-minute long game. That is going to define the playoff seeding.
I want to highlight a thing that YamatoCannon is very mad about right now. And it is the old, boring Deficio control wards. But it's back. Look at the minimap. A bunch of the red control wards are placed so far back by Vitality and have not been replaced by more aggressive wards. Even though Vitality are the team pushing past the river. Vitality are the team invading the jungle, playing around Baron. You need right now to just stack up on so many control wards so you can just deny so much vision that Schalke can't leave their lanes. And if they do, you get the engage you're looking for. You get the big team fight while Jiizuké is sitting bot lane. It's not fully there just yet. They've now moved one of the wards into the enemy jungle, but they still have a bunch sitting far back, and they could really optimize their setup if they're actually trying to snowball this game a lot faster than they're doing right now.
Well, let's see whether or not Vitality realize that they've got themselves a 2,000 gold lead. It's the largest of either team this entire game. It looked like Schalke were trying to set up a collapse on Jiizuké, but with Realm Warp and Flash, always going to be difficult. And Deficio, after Nukeduck was forced to flash earlier, he's used that Unseal spellbook and change. So it's cleanse and heal. Cannot be out of position. Look how bold Schalke are being. They're moving past the river again, and they're trying to challenge on the map. That's because Cabo and Jiizuké are pushing top and bottom.
Yeah, Schalke trying just to group as a team and force Vitality to TP in and fight them. But the minion wave is not very big here. Kikis is behind them as well. Ooh, blocks the arrow from Attila there. So minion wave still alive. They're pushing for inhib.
Okay, it looks like Schalke are going to get onto the inhibitor. Vitality, they've tried to play the map, and this time it has backfired. Schalke will take a authoritative control with super minions in the mid lane. But now what can they do? Jiizuké continues to pressure bottom. Jiizuké is going to take this bottom inhibitor. It'll end up being a 1-for-1 unless... Oh, top was already back, so let's see if Jiizuké can get out clean.
Yeah, Kikis killed the mid lane wave, but they'd already gotten the inhib, so Schalke are fine with it. But they're actually pushing for more. Schalke are trying to get back to base here, but they might get interrupted.
Vizicsacsi needs to get Mega Knight starting to build up. Take a look at the Nexus turrets. It's dropping as Jiizuké's got that death cap and doing a lot of work. The rest of Vitality unable to pick up more, and Chachi cannot gnaw bar out. Cabo and Jiizuké, they're running for their lives and peeling back for Dragon number 4. It is an Infernal Drake, and again, every time one team gets something, the other team has a reply.
Yeah, Schalke's answer there to a split push they couldn't stop was just to group and force mid lane, hoping Vitality would try and flank them and opt into a team fight. It didn't happen. Vitality said, hey, Cabochard, come bot lane. Jiizuké's already killing the inhib. We can go for more, forcing Schalke then to run back to base, which left the Drake open for Vitality to take. So they took it a step further. Like, Schalke threw down a challenge, we're gonna go for your inhib, and they said, fine, we go for your Nexus.
They called their bluff and said, right, we'll go further. Now, Mr. Superior Analyst, looking at the state of the game with 4 dragons, with supers in the bottom lane for Vitality, and the fact that they can push out mid and then go to Baron, how good is this for Vitality looking towards the final steps of taking down a Nexus?
It opens up a very big win condition, which is Jiizuké split pushing all the way to that Nexus. Like, the constant threat of the one Nexus turret standing is something you need to deal with as Schalke. And often the way you can deal with this is you try and force the Baron while Vizicsacsi is just defending the one Nexus turret, and then you get your 5-on-5 team fight. But it's always risky because Vitality knows that's your way out, and they'll just be around. They will stay nearby. And it's hard when you have to make these split decisions. So dealing with a split pusher who understands when to push and with just one Nexus turret alive is constant pressure on Schalke. They always have to communicate. Where's Jiizuké? Where's the bot lane wave at? Can we actually stop him if he goes for something?
Similarly, if Schalke can find themselves in a position, Deficio, that they can get down the middle lane with some super minions, call their bluff, maybe get there first, make the first move, they could also put us in some sort of crazy base race scenario. And this is a crazy, crazy start in the battle for the buy. Vitality, they're going to use that map pressure, and they're moving towards Baron.
Kill the vision at first. We can look at control wards again once we get out of this one. It's really lacking once again on the map for Vitality, and also in the inventory. They're sitting with a rage potion for Attila. They have nothing on the side of Jiizuké, even though he's obviously not on that side of the map. But they don't actually deny full vision from Schalke, so Schalke can always see if anything is happening around Baron. Look towards bottom side, at least for a moment. But you don't want to do this, because that's when Vitality can rush down Baron itself. You mentioned earlier, by the way, how Chachi was not really stacking MR. And it's still the case. It's really hurting him that he's building for team fights.
Look, Jiizuké's going to kill him. Jiizuké, no flash available, though, looking for the chase. Here comes Upset to interrupt.
Baron now.
Vizicsacsi cannot find the Gnar to engage, though.
Remember, Upset has TP. Same for Chachi. They can jump, but if they TP away, Jiizuké might try and go for the finish.
And, of course, Vizicsacsi's going to be tired. That Gnar bar is not going to be available for the fight. Schalke have been able to push Vitality off of Baron, and Jiizuké's sitting on that teleport. He's decided not to pull the trigger. Chachi sitting in base, waiting for an opportunity to move forward.
Chachi just went for a Rage Blade. You're not gonna try and kill this Ryze. You need to just survive, because your team is gonna win through team fighting. It's so hard for him to do anything. It's gonna help him kill the super minion, yes, but he's still so squishy against this Ryze here. At some point, Jiizuké gets that solo kill, and he gets the Nexus.
Unbelievable turn of events. Now, Vitality, if you had looked at just this weekend's games, would have been the favorite to go 2-0. And for the first 25 minutes of this game, I didn't believe it. Now, with a series of decisions, Vitality have got a 4,000 gold lead. They've got map control, and Jiizuké is calling Schalke's bluff.
Exactly. Upset cannot help now because he can't TP to the Baron. And remember, because it's Vitality with control, they're going to start the Baron and force Vizicsacsi to TP first. So Jiizuké always have the choice of just staying bot lane and trying to finish the game. It's 2v1 down there now. 4 versus 3 at the Baron.
Okay, let's take a look. No teleport for
Jiizuké's
upset.
dead.
He's going down. Somehow Jiizuké's died. I'm watching the Baron pit as Vitality have peeled away. They've taken down Amazing, and they're deciding if they want to go back in. That Vel'Koz ultimate can do a lot of damage if Nukeduck can get into the right position. VandeR's ultimate's on cooldown though, and VandeR is trying to body block. Look at Baron, down to 4,000 hit points. Death Sentence manages to connect onto VandeR. 1,300 hit points for the Baron. It's secured by Vitality, and the Cataclysm locks in Cabo, but that was just to buy time for Vitality to escape. They maintain a semblance of control with Baron, but Schalke win that fight.
Well, that's why we said if Upset goes bot lane, it should almost be impossible for him to win that situation, because then Vitality will get to the Baron and probably a bunch of kills, and they actually did get Amazing down, but it bought time for Schalke to react. They still lost the objective. Yes, they get a bunch of kills, but it's a loss in the end because Vitality secured a Baron. Kikis even got to get out because they didn't see him in the pit when he was recalling. This is what happens without TP from Upset. If he had the TP from before, instantly now 2 people TP in, and Schalke might actually be able to do something, but now it's only Vizicsacsi joining for a potential fight. He recalls because he realizes he's going to die. Vitality get the Baron. They have the constant threat of winning the game through Jiizuké in the bot lane. Fun enough, the Kikis control. They don't actually see him here. So
they're like hit in the back of the pit.
They didn't realize he was just standing there.
No. Oh, unbelievable. Schalke 04 on the verge of losing the first game in the battle for the bye. You guys jump onto Twitter and share your thoughts with us at LOL Esports. Hashtag battle for the bye and hashtag EULCS. Who will take that top seed? Will Vitality be able to close this game out? They will play against G2 Esports immediately after this game.
And if Schalke can get that 5 versus 5 team fight, then this goal difference doesn't matter. The 4 Drakes doesn't matter. The Ocean Drakes are cancelled instantly. Schalke are just not allowed to get a 5-on-5 because look who's in the side lane again. It's Jiizuké. It's Spring Split Vitality looking great with split pushing.
And of course, teleport's not available for Vizicsacsi or Upset. So Schalke, they cannot afford to be out of position. They get some vision into that right-hand quadrant towards Cabochard's lane. But Jiizuké shoved the minion wave all the way into Chachi's waiting hands. Black Cleaver, Randion's Omen, and that Rage Blade. And the only MR to speak of is that Negatron Cloak, which is why Jiizuké burns through him.
At some point, I just want to see Amazing engage. Body Slam flash in just to force and engage around the 3-man group of Vitality, because once you get a bunch of kills there, you suddenly threaten going down the enemy base and finishing the game, and you might force Jiizuké to stop split pushing. You have to tool with the Gragas Body Slam Flash. You can't flay that properly as a Thresh as long as the Flash is in there from Amazing, and then you have follow-up damage.
And he's done it several times this game already. Amazing, landing those Body Slam into Flash connections. Chachi again, look, down to 40%
this is
of his
not
hit
gonna
points.
work.
You cannot stop him with that build, Chachi. And Elder Dragon is the focus. All right, 4 Dragons is going to amp up that Elder to the umpteenth degree. Vitality have pulled it outside the pit. There's no Poppy to save Vizicsacsi and Schalke this time round.
No TB for Chachi either. It is there for Jiizuké, so it's a 5 versus 4 team fight potentially happening in favor of Vitality. They have the split push control. They're the ones with the Drakes. Gotta be careful they don't get engaged on here.
All right, Vizicsacsi sends Jiizuké into the tower with the help of that Gnar. He clears out the minion wave. That's very well done. Oh, look at that! Chachi is just blown up by Jiizuké. He is dead for 55 seconds.
Chachi is so squishy against the Ryze with this build here. He's trying to win a 1v1 that he can never win. It's another advantage now for Vitality. Nukeduck is back defending against him. He does have the spellbook, but Elder Drake getting started again. Chachi dead for 40 seconds, and Jiizuké is alive.
All right, it looks like Schalke may be able to cut off some sort of support. VandeR and Upset are going to get caught up by the chain of corruption. The flash! Flay! VandeR's pulled backwards thanks to the death sentence, and VandeR flashes into the reds. He gets taken out, though, unfortunately for Schalke, and Vitality have got another gigantic death timer to deal with. As now Schalke, again, they're going to have to try stop this Elder.
Nukeduck lost his ulti trying to kill Jiizuké.
All right, take a look at this. Amazing is going to be the focus. Gets locked inside the Cataclysm. Upset takes a lot of damage, and the Blast Cone sends them packing. Death Sentence almost catches Upset. He picks up the red buff on the way out, though.
And while it's happening, Jiizuké still kept pushing. He would have to flash away, but Nukeduck couldn't kill him. It's just 1 versus 4 on a hook.
The hook is instantly cleansed out, and of course Jactroll didn't follow up that secondary proc. Elder Dragon secured by Vitality. 8,000 gold lead. Exposed inhibitor down bottom, the inhibitor top is going down, and Vitality, they maintain control of this game.
Almost 40 minutes into the game, and Schalke have not been allowed to get a proper team fight yet. It is a constant battle of a mid lane push versus Jiizuké pushing in the side. And this Ryze here, 457 CS, full build at this point. No one can stop him. No one can even survive against him. We've seen this Gnar now die so many times because there's a bunch of armor against the Ryze, which doesn't help at all. And Chachi's never allowed to leave that side lane. So Schalke have been put in a position where they've been waiting for Vitality to stop split pushing and group. But why would you stop if you can win this way?
So I think you need to. Vitality are doing so well. Cabochard's going to find himself, get caught out. Yeah, flag and drag to the side, insta flash as well. I think there's going to be enough CC yet to run him down. So how much time can he buy? In the mid lane, Vitality are pushing for the inner turret. Cataclysm will buy a few seconds longer. No minions to work with though, so Kikis is tanking up the tower. And Amazing decides to hold on to his ultimate. The tower will in fact fall. So it's a kill for a tower, still advantage to Vitality.
But now we have the 5 members back from Schalke. We'll probably stop Vitality from doing anything else. And I believe the Elder Drake buff is going to run out by the time Baron is alive, which gives a last hope for Schalke.
Oh man, because again, like you said, Deficio, if they can find the 5v5, their team comp will do very well. But they haven't been able to do so.
Simply not allowed to.
And all credit to Vitality. Those minor missteps in communication in the early game have not impacted their mid to late game. And that is why we're up to an 8.7k gold lead. The maximum pot just after 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's so fun to see Jiizuké back split pushing. Because he's been stuck in the mid lane for most of this summer split. It's not been the same Jiizuké we saw before, but this one, it's exactly why we fell in love with this player. He did this on Ryze, 1v2ing people, winning the game, like he probably will do in this one. Like, I actually think the most realistic way for him to win is him just going for that Nexus. Cabochard, he TP'd down to run and join Jiizuké.
All right, trying to look for some sort of opportunity. Super minions in the bottom lane. This sets up 30 seconds before Baron. Give map control to Vitality, but this time around, Vizicsacsi and Upset have their teleports available to them.
Still 25 seconds on the Baron. Vitality cannot rush it down instantly. Schalke will have a bit of time to react, but once again, the bot lane is open.
But I think that's why Cabo TP'd in. Guarantee those supers, so when you want to start playing around Baron, you've got a couple extra seconds, couple extra waves pushing towards Schalke's base. Yesterday, Deficio, there was a huge Hungarian fan base here that obviously everybody heard and talked about watching Vizicsacsi. They couldn't help him win his game. However, the 3 Italian fans that were in the audience yelling and screaming for Jiizuké said they flew here to see him win, and they got exactly that.
Alfari as well.
Shout out from Alfari. Jiizuké's Ryze is clean, no doubt about it.
All right, Cabochard and Jiizuké bot lane. Cabochard, no TP. Vitality starting this with 3 players. Cabochard can't join. They're threatening potentially finishing the game here.
Amazing has snuck up in towards this blast cone, and I think as he steps forward towards that blue trinket, we'll get spotted out. So Vitality peel back.
Yeah, I think they needed Cabochard to stay with the team, but he was trying to cover for Jiizuké because Upset was not showing just yet on the map, and he does have TP now. So him ganking Jiizuké in the 2v1 and then TPing to Baron is a way to defend if you are Schalke. Does stop Jiizuké from moving down, but once again, guys, I guarantee you the Schalke players are so frustrated in their communication because you're dealing with this Ryze and the potential Baron threat all the time. You can never stop talking about where Jiizuké is on the map.
All right, teleport's available for Upset if he needs to. Baron is started by Vitality. It looked like Upset and VandeR were pushing onto Jiizuké. He's able to escape with his life. True Shot Barrage is going to spot out the Baron, and Amazing is being zoned away by Jactroll. Death Sentence into Flay and the box by so much time. Vitality secured the next Baron. Now Nukeduck has some support from VandeR and Upset. Plasma Fission into Tectonic Disruption and the Lifeform Disintegration Ray. Attila's GA is not popped. He escapes with his life. Vizicsacsi's trying to build up the Gnar bar, and Jiizuké has not started channeling the teleport.
Yeah, he's pushing. He needs the minion wave, though. Right now, Vitality trying to walk away and buy time for the Ryze.
While the rest of Schalke, they have not committed to the chase. Vitality have secured the Baron at 0 cost, but can they continue this pressure? Vizicsacsi's about to gnaw out, and the rest of Schalke are split. Chachi gets slowed down by the Pillar of Ice, and Vitality get their objective, extend their gold lead, and could set themselves up for a final push.
Instant TP back here for Jiizuké. All of Vitality pushing from the top side. Let's see if they can actually get something else here. Maybe another inhib for now in the top lane. There's a few minions. Upset will kill most of them, but the turret is low.
All right, Vizicsacsi is lit high. It gets caught by Death Sentence, knocked into the air. Flag, drag, Cataclysm sends him packing. Glacial Fissure buys some time, but Nukeduck's got no ultimate. It's a trade of top laners. Amazing will respawn shortly, but looking at the cost of VandeR's life. Jiizuké being focused by Nukeduck. A sidestep on the overpower! Jiizuké two-shot upset turns his attention to Amazing and Nukeduck, and the Nexus Tower is the focus. Jiizuké gets burned alive by the Lightform disintegration rate, but there's not enough damage, not enough information, not enough ability power. Vitality look to shut down Nukeduck, taking him out and taking the first win. Vitality are one step closer in winning the battle for the bye.
And that is how you split push with a Ryze. Never really needed to join a big fight until the very end, where he decides to hit an Ezreal for 1,102 damage with a Q.
Legitimately disgusting damage.
I mean, he was so farmed, and of course the Ezreal was just so squishy against what he could bring, but this entire game was won through split pushing. Schalke's 5-man draft with long range would be really painful to deal with for Vitality if they ever had to walk into team fights, but they didn't. It was always Jiizuké in that side lane.
Unbelievable performance. As Deficio was talking about that, Jiizuké ran past the caster, his hands spread wide. Huge
The crowd
celebration.
is
I
going
have
nuts.
to give a shout out, of course, as Kikis got towards the end of the stage there, giving Vizicsacsi a hug. Former teammates a few years back, Kikis being the man that has changed Vitality's fortune. And Deficio, at 20 minutes in this game, I thought Vitality were not going to do it. I thought that Kikis is a little bit on a different page. By 26 minutes, and for the rest of the game, completely changed my mind, and Vitality 1-0 up.
The moment where Chachi used that TP around the Baron area, didn't actually get anything in return for it. They only got the 1 kill on Kikis that had gotten anyway before that even happened. They played for so long without a global on the Gnar, and it allowed Jiizuké just to be so obnoxious in the side lane, and also the rest of Vitality then to get control of mid. They stopped Schalke from ever getting to group again, which was such a key part. And then the Ryze recalled, bought a death cap straight away, returned, and this Gnar, with, you know, the armor stacking build initially and then a rage plate later, that's great against like big tanks you're trying to kill in that side lane, or if you get to teamfights very often with the Randuins, but he never did. He had to deal with Jiizuké all the time, and he barely had any MR.
And of course, this was the final team fight. You can see on your minimap, Amazing was dead. He was caught just inside that Baron pit, trying to interrupt it. And despite a couple of trades, I think you have to watch Upset with a little bit of luck.
Oh, I see the damage.
We'll follow him.
1,100.
So, Rune Prison EQ. That's it. WEQ.
That's a lot of late game damage.
So impressive. Jiizuké, one of his signature champions. Only the second time that he has played it in Summer. It's the second win he's picked up. And there's the reaction that we've all come to know and love.
He actually got surprised he didn't die in the fountain
after. Do you know that hand? He's like, did you see what I did? I had no idea. Deficio, paint the stakes now, of course. Vitality will continue to stay on stage. They'll play G2 Esports in about 10-ish minutes. And that means if they win that game, they win the battle for the buy, and they take second seed.
Yes.
And will advance to semifinals, guaranteed showing in Madrid.
And we already talked about how they came into this as the only winners.
Yes.
Because they didn't lose yesterday. They actually won the chance of playing this bye week here. And they just continue the same form. And for a team with emotions, who needs confidence
and momentum.
Momentum is the perfect start for them. They're going to look really strong for the next game, because they just played G2 yesterday and they stomped G2.
They absolutely did. And of course, as we're speaking, G2 Esports are preparing for their fight against Vitality, who will be locking in second place with their win. Just to reiterate that, don't go anywhere. When we come back, G2 have another shot at Vitality. There's the body slam flash. Jactroll is very low, below 100 HP. Death sentence by some time. He's still not dead. There's no... What was that? Upset curves the Mystic shot to take down Jactroll. Cabochard has come down, manages to put the Cataclysm onto Nukeduck. Pillar of Ice blocks off his escape. There is a cleanse available and the stopwatch. He pops the item. The barrel splits up Vitality. Are going to get caught up by the chain of corruption. The flash. Flame VandeR's pulled backwards thanks to the death sentence, and VandeR flashes into the red. He gets taken out though, unfortunately for Schalke. Trade of top laners. Amazing will respawn shortly, but it will be at the cost of VandeR's life. Jiizuké being focused by Nukeduck. A sidestep and the overpower! Jiizuké, 2 shots upset. Look to shut down Nukeduck, taking him out and taking the first win. Vitality are one step closer in winning the battle for the bye.
And that is